Here we're going to see if Rosine into an Obstagoon. They're going to dip out right away into Giratina. I answer with an Umbreon, and they say, see you later, don't want to tangle with Umbreon. Next match, Rosine into Walrein, both doing super effective damage, fighting against ice and ice against grass. So they fire off a Icicle Spear, shield that up. I'm going to fire off a Sacred Sword, they shield that up. They are going to fire off another Icicle Sphere, shield that up. Now I'm at back-to-back Sacred Swords. So I fire off this one, they shield it up. Get to the next one. They have no shields left, so this hits them. And I instant swap into my Umbreon, catch the Icicle Sphere, farm down, get a nice amount of energy. They bring in Dragonite. I'm at back-to-back here again. Fire off the first one. It does a decent chunk. Not quite half health, but a decent chunk. They're going to throw a superpower, and I want that, actually. I didn't throw again because I wanted them to weaken their defense. So, take out the Dragonite there. They bring in a Muck, send off the last resort, bring in my Swampert, and they see that the game is over, so they give up again. Good game, thank you to my opponent. Next match, Tapu Fini into Virizion. Almost at back-to-back Leaf Blades, and I shield up the bait. Unfortunate, but if they Moonblast me, I pretty much am done. So I go for a Leaf Blade here, hoping to grab the shield, get a shield, get to another Leaf Blade, and now they have to decide if they want to go down both shields or if they... Oh no, they're already down both shields. Need to pay attention here. They bring in their Umbreon. I answer with my Swampert, catch an Earthquake, and I'm going to fire this off. It should do about half health, and then I let this move go through. I should live this, and then just barely make it to another Earthquake. That should take out the Umbreon, and then this is perfect. Absolutely ideal that they throw here, take me out, and I can come back in and reach the Leaf Blade. But they do get to another move, so I shield up just to be safe. It is just another Surf, but I fire off a Leaf Blade, take them out, and in the back is a Charizard. So not great. And if any of you watched my previous video, I never shield the first Blast Burn. I know I'm out of shields right now, but you'll see in this video as I go through it, if you watch it, that I don't like shielding the first move from Charizard, and it's typically always a Blast Burn onto my Umbreon. So maybe I should start shielding the first one so that I have a little bit more flexibility in case they Dragon Claw me later on in the games. But I'm able to get that one anyways, so good game to my opponent, thank you. Here, got Virizion into Machamp. A little bit of lag, it looks like it was mutual. You can see when I came back, I had energy, so I think they also did. And here I make a mistake. Oh no, not here, sorry, never mind. Later on in either this match or a different match with Machamp. So I don't shield this one, and they cross chop again, so that's good. Bring in my Swampert, and I wanted to farm down, but I was like, no way am I going to be able to one-shot down. So I fire off a move, and they shield it. So I was a little bit surprised by that, but they just cross chop. And here they have two moves, so I was like, okay, that makes sense. Shield up the next one. Now we're both down shields. They bring in an Armored Mewtwo. It's not very often you see those, but I'm able to reach the Earthquake, and I do a great chunk of damage, and here I'm in a really good spot, because no matter what they throw, even a Dynamic Punch isn't going to really hurt Umbreon. And so here they get to move with their Moltres, and I go for a last resort here. I think probably Foul Play is the way to go, just like double Foul Play. And they're a little bit faster, and as you can see they're hit about the same. So I come back in here deliberately to catch the move with my Virizion, and then I wanted to farm down and get some energy for Umbreon. I didn't want to take another Sky Attack or whatever on my Umbreon. So good game to my opponent there. Vrizzing into Alolan Sandslash. And here again, similar to Walrein, I'm doing double super effective against the Steel and the Ice, but they're also doing super effective against the Grass typing with the Powder Snows. So it's not ideal, but it's somewhat neutral, more positive for myself. So here they switch out into Trevenant, which is perfect for me because I'm able to answer with my Umbreon. All they can really throw is the seed bombs, and I farm up to back-to-back foul plays here. And I'm going to fire the first one off here. Gets the shield. I have no shields, obviously, because I was shielding earlier in the match. And fire off another foul play. They let that one go. They're out of shields. So now I think I just live this, and then I farm down. And then they bring in the Sandslash. Throw the foul play. Doesn't quite take them out. They farm me down. And I choose to bring in my Swampert here. Farm down, get some energy, and they have their own Swampert. I do reach the Earthquake here, which is going to do a huge chunk of damage, and then I combo play with my Bruzian and go for the Leaf Blade. So good game to my opponent there. As you can see by my elo, I fell below 2000, and I did a 4-1 set there, climbed back a little bit, and here we've got another Bruzian into Walrein lead. And I go for Sacred Sword. They shield it, and then I swap right away into my Umbreon. I kind of want to try to save my shields here. They have their own Bruzian, so I let this go. Sacred Sword is going to start to add up. Same with their double kick. So I go for a last resort here. And they let that go through. They're a little over half health now. I'm fading very quickly here. They take me out. I decide that I'm going to save my shields. I'll come in with Bruzian, shield up that first move, and I go for a Leaf Blade here. I feel like probably should have done a Sacred Sword, but that's okay. This game was full of mistakes and misplays as it was. So they fire off another move there. I get to an Earthquake. They shield that up. Now they're down both the shields, but I'm almost dead as it is. So I go for a Hydro Cannon just to get a little bit of chip damage. Come back in with my Bruzian. Gonna shield this to move up. But they get to another move. So GG's to my opponent there. Not really much I can do. They've got 3 Pokemon still, and I'm just down and out. So really well played to my opponent. Next match, Bruzian into Melmetal. They switch into Togekiss. I answer with Swampert, and they give up. I'm not sure why. I don't think it was for sure I had them beat. Maybe they thought that I had Sludge Wave, and they just said, nope, we're out. But I'll take it. So here's another Umbreon Charizard, and as you can see there, I just simply don't shield the Blast Burn, and that really puts me in a bad spot to begin with, because then I'm really low on health, and I don't know for sure the right way to play that, because if you shield the first one, now you're right away down a shield. They still get to move so fast with the Charizard, so I kind of think no matter what you do. You can see here too, they kept their Giratina hidden. I am very happy to know though that Earthquake from Swampert will do half health, a little bit more, as you saw there. It did considerably more with being a shadow, so that's really good to know. I don't need Umbreon for Giratina. So here I've got Bruzian into Giratina. They bring back in their Charizard, and I don't have any shields. They send a Blast Burn, I've got my Swampert. I take out the Charizard. But then they have their Giratina. I have no shields left. And they Dragon Claw me, and that's another good game to my opponent. Well played. Virizion into Swampert. This is almost a perfect lead. They switch into their Giratina. I answer with my Umbreon. And I'm already at back-to-back foul plays. They haven't thrown yet. And they shield that up. And then here they got to move. I let it go. And what's funny about that Shadow Force is I was chuckling to myself. I was like, they haven't thrown in a long time. I wonder what their move is. I wonder if they're going to try to Shadow Force me. Because that would be funny to see just how much damage it does. And as you saw there, it didn't do very much at all. So, but that's funny. Everybody does that, right? So foul play into Giratina, takes it out. And then they've got a Venusaur in the back. Gonna go for a foul play just to get some chip damage. Does a nice little chunk. Get to another one. They're farming up for days here. Not sure what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to farm me down and just leave with a bunch of energy. Certainly do not want to bring in Swampert. So I bring in Venusaur, I bring in Virizion, shield up correctly the Sludge Wave, shield up the next Sludge Wave, and then I didn't know for sure how close they were to another move, so I just threw just to get rid of them, and trying to go for the Leaf Blade there with a Swampert in the back, and they just gave up. So good game to my opponent. Ampharos into Virizion. This is good for Virizion, because Brutal Swing is not going to do much damage, which they just went for. And then they swatch out. And I bring in Umbreon into their Cresselia, which is great for me. They can do Moonblast, which isn't great, but you can live, I think, about 3 of them with the fast moves as well. There you can see they Moonblast me. I'm still in the green. I'm firing off another foul play, getting them into the yellow, and I've got another one on the go. So they let that go, and I take them out. They wanted to keep their shield, I guess. So they bring Ampharos back in, go for another foul play here. Does a decent chunk of damage. They have another move coming. Zap Cannon takes me out, and right there I was like, oh no. This is going to be hard. I just lost my best Trevenant answer. Don't have Sludge Wave on my Swampert. And Virizion can't really do much. I do have a shield still, but they still have 2 shields. If I shield my Virizion, my Swampert is dead right away because of a Seed Bomb. So I was like, what am I doing here? I was like, okay. Got Hydro Cannons, but I've already used my shield. They've got 2 shields. So I've got to basically reach 3 Hydro Cannons in order to take them out. They need 1 Seed Bomb. So, good game to my opponent there. Nothing I could really do after my Umbreon went down. So, Virizion into Florges. They surprised me a little bit. I didn't think that move would do quite that much damage. Switch into my Swampert. Throw Hydro Cannon, deal a nice chunk back to them, get to another Hydro Cannon, and it didn't really show that they blocked it, but I think they did. So I let the next move go, and then I'll shield this one up. Farming up to another move here, get to another Hydro Cannon, so I'll throw that, take that out. They still have a shield, and I was shocked here. They brought in Charizard into my Swampert, which already had energy. So I get their next shield, and then I switch into my Umbreon, and they bring in Politoed. So I'm just going to throw foul plays here, try to get some damage, absorb all of their energy, and basically try to get it really low or take it out. So chipping away here, throwing foul play after foul play. and they get to another move. I'm just gonna let it go again and farm that down. Now they're down to their Charizard, and I did something kind of cheeky here. I figured that they had enough energy that they would probably bait with Dragon Claw to try to get me shield. So I switched into my Rizian to take their energy, and then I messed up and I didn't realize how much energy my Swampert had, so I brought it back in and let them get farm. I didn't have enough energy to get a move, and here I don't know what happened or what they did. Maybe that's all the damage it does, but regardless, they didn't quite take out my Umbreon and I managed to win. So very close. I messed up. Had I not even the couple turns of farm on my Swampert, it would have been a lot more comfortable, I believe. Anyways, into the next match. Swampert and Dragonite. Dragonite takes out my Swampert. I bring in Umbreon. I'm not going to shield this move. Just Dragon Claw. I'm trying to keep my shields here. Fire off another move. I do shield that one up, thinking that it might be a superpower. I'm going to let this one go. It's just another Dragon Claw. Get to a foul play here. If they don't shield this, it'll take them out. So they let that go. They're going to keep the shields. And they switch into Politoed, so I answer with Rizian. They switch out into their Ground Ball. And I'm going to shield this. I want to get this Leaf Blade off. I'm not sure how much damage it'll do. Doesn't quite take them out, and they're able to farm me down. And I come back in, and before I get to farm them down, they get farm me down. So good game to my opponent. Another perfect lead, and they switch into a Scizor. So I'm going to hit them with Sacred Sword here. That's going to hit for super effective damage on the steel. And then I switch into Umbreon, get the Night Slash. Their Fury Cutter is doing super effective to my Umbreon, but any of their fast moves aren't really going to hurt me. So here they bring in Machamp, and I fire off a foul play. They shield that first one. I think they would have thought that I had the last resort there, so that was a good bait. And here I shield up a cross drop, so I was kind of annoyed with that. And now what do? So I let it go, and it's Rock Slide. So good game to my opponent there, or well played. And now I shield up another cross chop. I'm just all over the place with this game. Shielding up the baits and letting the big moves go through. So there I do land Leaf Blade, so that's good for me. Take out the Swampert, and then they bring the Machamp back in, and I do have back-to-back Sacred Swords. Takes out I'm not sure. Again, it didn't quite take them out, but I think they might have given up. Regardless, good game. Charizard into Venusaur. Do a little bit of farm, switch into my Umbreon. They answer with Walrein. Not going to shield anything. They go for Icicle Spear. I'm going to fire off a foul play at them. Gets a little bit of damage there. Get to another one. I want to throw this. Now they're into the yellow, which is good for me. They do reach another move here. I'm still going to let it go. Just another Icicle Sphere, and I'm at another foul play. They let that go too, and now I really want to farm down. I don't want to shield, but I just want to farm down. And they go for an Earthquake and take me out. So now I come in with Charizard. So here you can see I've switched to Charizard as well. Probably, I think last match, actually I switched to Charizard. And they've got their own Charizard. So I shield up that first move. Oh, let that first move go. They shielded. Yeah. And And then I fire off another Sacred Sword here. And they farm me down. I bring in Charizard. They Blast Burn me. And they're at another move now, so I shield this up. And it's another Blast Burn. At this point, I feel like I can farm down, so I just hard farm. They bring in Swampert. I'm going to shield this. And now they have another move. Good game. I was hoping to be able to bait them with the Dragon Claw and then Blast Burn them. But they got to too many moves there. Rayquaza into Rizian. And they're gonna throw their move. I'm gonna let it go. Fire off the Sacred Sword. It doesn't do very much damage. Stone Edge would definitely be useful there. Switch into my Umbreon. I'm gonna take another move. Attack drops. I'm gonna fire off a Foul Play here. And they switch into their Swampert. So I'm gonna go for Foul Play. Gets a little bit of damage done. And I believe I let this go, yeah. Just let the Hydro Cannon go. Get to another Foul Play. Throw as many of these as I can. Switch into my Rizian to catch the Hydro Cannon. And I get to a Leaf Blade. So now either this takes them out or they shield. And they choose to keep their shields. And their Rayquaza is almost dead here. So I'm going to shield this move up. And they switch into a Snorlax. So I'm going to fire off the Blast Burn. Gets their first shield. And then I switch back into my Umbreon to take the Body Slam. Farm up to a Foul Play. I'm going to throw this. Gets a little bit more chip damage. And now I'm getting to the position. Now I feel they have to shield. But they let it go. So now I'm definitely within Blast Burn range. So I let this first move go. It's Body Slam. Does a chunk. Now they got another move here. So I'm going to shield this one. And I still need to reach two more moves. Like, I need to get the shield. And then I need to get to a move. But I started noticing that I don't need to get to Blast Burn. Because the wing attacks are adding up. So I just double Dragon Claw there, get the shield, and then I'm able to take them out for a good game. Absolutely horrible lead for me. Get out of there as fast as I can. Now here, I'm trying to time the Incinerates with my Umbreon so that I don't let them sneak a move through. Did a good job on that first one. And they go for the big move there, don't shield it. And now I'm down half health roughly. And I'm locked in here. This is just a Psychic Fangs. So I let that go. It doesn't do hardly anything. Fire for another Foul Play. And I do have Charizard in the back, so I can answer their Ho-Ho. As long as I can align to it. So I bring in my Vrizian. I'm farming up Synergy. Go for a Sacred Sword here. And they do shield that. So I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't just opt to let that go and bring back in their Ho-Oh, but there they show that they wanted to throw the Psychic Fangs to debuff my Pokemon there. So I go for another Sacred Sword. They take me out with Incinerate. I bring Charizard back in, and I do shield up the Sacred Fire. I'm kind of curious how much damage that would have done, because it's not very effective, but it's still a very hard-hitting move. And now they've got Cresselia in the back. This is okay for me, as long as they don't have Future Sight, because we're both down shields. And Blast Burn does about half health. And they have Aurora Beam. I'm not really sure what that is. I've never really seen one running that. So here I fire off a Dragon Claw, and then I take the move on my Umbreon. Again, it's just another Psychic Fangs. And that allowed me to get to a Foul Play. So I throw that, do a really good chunk of damage on the Cresselia. Now they're forced to throw or I'll get to another move. So that works out well for me because I'm able to then reach Dragon Claw and throw that before they get to another move. So take out the Cresselia. Another good game to my opponents. And here we are into Virizion into Trevenant. They switch into their Ampharos, and I switch into my Charizard. Blast Burn, they shield that up. This first move I do shield up, thinking it's probably a Thunder Punch. If people aren't running Brutal Swing, it's going to be Thunder Punch. And there they get to another one, I let it go, and it does a good chunk of damage. Bring back in my Virizion, go for Sacred Sword, they let that go, and they're in the yellow now. Thunder Punch, I let it go, not effective, and here I'm able to align my Umbreon to the Trevenant. So I bring that back in, they Seed Bomb me, they reach another Seed Bomb here. I'm just trying to get to as many foul plays as I can. I haven't thrown yet, but now I'm at back-to-backs. So they let the first one go, and now I just kind of want to commit to the farm. So I eat another Seed Bomb there, and I'm able to farm down. So now we're even shields, even Pokemon. I've got some energy. And they bring in Obstagoon, and I just kind of blind through there. I should have gone for the last resort, would have been a lot better. Grab the shield, bring back in Ampharos, and here I'm going to call it. I call the Thunder Punch and shield it. Should have just let it go. I feel like it would have been in a lot better position, but Sacred Sword does a lot of damage, and I'm able to pull off the win regardless. So good game to my opponent. That's another 4-1 win for myself there. Licky Tongue is the reward, and that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you did make it to the end of the video, I definitely do appreciate it, and leave a like or a comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.